It's WWE Elite Series 100, Stunning Steve Austin on Way I Got It Figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, action figure fans? Way I Got It Figured. Back with another WWE Elite review. This time we're looking at Stunning Steve Austin from the Elite 100 series. I picked this figure up at Target, and I was, greatly anticipating it. I collect limited wrestling figures, and one of my favorite guys to get, of course, is Stunning Steve Austin, or Stone Cold Steve Austin, or whatever Steve Austin it happens to be. Mainly Stone Cold Steve Austin, of course. But I have become sort of an aficionado of old wrestling, as well as newer wrestling, and Stunning Steve Austin is one of those guys that I was always gonna get. So we're gonna do what we normally do. We're gonna look at the packaging. We're gonna get them out, pose them around a little bit, talk about them, and give some final thoughts. So starting with the packaging, we've got the WWE Elite 100 series, which got special packaging for Elite 100. There are a couple of guys in this series that I wanted to get, but they were selling out super fast. Some of them I've never even seen in the store. But this one I actually ended up getting two of. When I get Steve Austin figures, I usually keep one in the package and one I open. So here we go. Stunning Steve Austin as of his debut in WCW way back in what I want to say is 91. And he's got the television title belt. He's got his little sort of splayed hands and his robe, and I like the pattern of the background that matches his trunks. Back in the day when he was eating potatoes, peeling potatoes, and I know a little something about that. And then on the side, you got a nicer up-close portrait of a young Steve Austin when he still had hair. WWE Elite Collection 100. Stunning Steve Austin on the side. And then you got the back. And of course, you got the cross-sell. And you've got some text here, so we're going to read that. And if you want to, you can pause it. Every legend has a beginning. For Stunning Steve Austin, that was in WCW. He took on some of the greatest to ever lace up a pair of boots. Before long, he shaved his blonde hair. His attitude became stone cold, and he changed the business forever. Elite 100 celebrates the roots of Steve Austin's career, complete with his first title, the WCW Championship, Television Championship. Of course, you got your cross-sell here. Andre the Giant, Rey Mysterio, The Rock, Becky Lynch, John Cena, and finally Stunning Steve Austin. Out of this series, I wanted to get The Rock, and I wanted to get Andre the Giant. I've yet to see Andre the Giant in the store. He was always gone when I would get there. All the rest of these I've seen, including The Rock. In fact, when I had a chance to get The Rock, I decided to buy a second Stone Cold Steve Austin or Stunning Steve Austin, because I'd rather have, make sure I got my two Steve Austins. But they're just, they were just difficult to find. They showed up, they went away. That's that. So I'll probably have to get The Rock aftermarket. And then Andre the Giant has a Chase figure, which, you know, if I'd seen it in a store, I would have bought that. But I might have to just get a regular one just to get Andre. I just think he's an interesting figure. I believe he's got an all-new tool and everything like that, so that's always cool. So we're going to get Steve out of the package, and we're going to take a look at him. Let's check him out. All right, so we got Stunning Steve out of his packaging and on the turntable. I'm not going to turn the turntable on this one. I'm just going to try and keep it brief as possible. So Steve's got his two hands out, as we've already seen. And he's got his soft goods robe. He's got some knee pads on. And his television title is strapped firmly around his waist. Taking a look at the portrait. One of my buddies said to him he looked like William Regal, but honestly, this really does look like a young Steve Austin. I think they did a good job with it. Stunning Steve on the back of the robe. And it's very interesting, you know, obviously I came in sort of in his later career as a huge Steve Austin fan, but my first introduction to him was with the Hollywood Blondes. My buddy, Dwayne, or let's call him Eclipse, really loved this tag team, and he introduced me to him way back in the very early 90s. Before that, I was not familiar with Steve, but I loved the Hollywood Blondes right along with my buddy Eclipse. And, you know, the best guys always seem to have a certain kind of work ethic. And Steve Austin is exemplary of one of the best. Just taking a little look at him. We'll take his robe off real quick. See how easy it is to do. Yeah, it's not too difficult. Just pop him out. Remove his robe. And he's got your typical Elite articulation. Yank the belt off so we can see him in his humble in-ring attire. Of course, you can turn his waist. Ab crunch. Head goes up, down, has a side swivel. Of course, the ponytail's gonna get in the way of some of that. He is totally pinless as I've been. No, his legs have pins, but they're hidden by the knee pads, of course, boot swivel, and boot cut, and of course, ankle rock. The wrists, of course, are articulated as well, and of course, the hands come off for switching. So there you go. Steve Austin, front, back, side, side, front. Very cool, very basic. You know, his attire in his initial career was very basic. He was a member of the Dangerous Alliance with Paulie Dangerously and Rick Rude and Arn Anderson. Was it Larry Zbyszko? Yeah, these guys, and they, you know, they're all supposed to be like this cocky, sort of arrogant kind of group. And Steve Austin, Stunning Steve Austin himself, was almost like a poor man's version of the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who I I suppose, like many young wrestlers, was Steve Austin's idol. Anyway, you know, everybody always wanted to be, you know, to be the man and all that. So, you know, he had a robe and sort of walked around like this handsome guy or whatever. And there's videos where he talks about it. And even though they have him wearing the belt in the package, he did indeed carry it on his shoulder from time to time, particularly when he was with the Dangerous Alliance. So there you go. It's a nice figure. It's a WWE Elite. It's a version of Steve Austin that we don't get very much. The last stunning Steve Austin we got was actually a member of the Hollywood Blondes. And unfortunately, I only have one of those, and it's in the package. I'd have to get another one, you know, before I consider opening it. But I may. And then the other thing is, I'd have to get a Brian Pillman. And Brian Pillman's, you know, kind of expensive. So there you go. Let's move on to final thoughts. All right, final thoughts on WWE Elite Stunning Steve Austin. You know, the Elite 100 line, of course, they were going to put the biggest guys in there that they could, you know, in an assortment, and I think they knocked it out of the park for an assortment. And Stunning Steve Austin is a nice, like I said earlier, different, not as well trodden take on Steve Austin, who normally is a Stone Cold Steve Austin figure. But I would like to say that, you know, they do need to make more Stone Cold Steve Austin figures. Yeah, I get that they have to stretch them out, so to speak. You know, because only so much you can do with black trunks and black tights. But there are plenty of in-between looks that you could do with Stone Cold Steve Austin. But you know, I'm very happy with this figure. As WWE Elites go, I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10. He's not, you know, not fully updated, so he's got, you know, pinless arms, but he has pinned legs. And many times I said I won't judge a figure on that, but at this point, you know, there's no need. Probably you could have just given him pinless legs. You know, so I don't want to judge him harshly, but what I will say, as just a general package, forget the pins, he's about an 8. I don't think he's the world's best figure. I don't think he's the world's worst figure. The likeness looks good. He's got his robe. It does the job of capturing Steve's early look in his career when we were first introduced to him in WCW. So 8 is a high mark for me. It's not a bad mark at all. So there you go. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and sticking around. Check out some more videos. I certainly have many more coming. I got some Transformers stuff coming up. Lots of Transformers stuff coming up. There's always going to be G.I. Joe Classified, Street Fighter. I've now, you know, there's definitely going to be that, because I'll be getting every one of those figures. And still Marvel Legends, as long as it's 60th anniversary of the Avengers, I'm going to be getting some Marvel Legends. So, you know, plenty to look forward to. And we're coming up on the actual first anniversary of the channel. So, you know, I'm going to be looking to do something special for that. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I'm going to do something. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys all on the next video. Everybody, please stay safe out there. Peace.
The way I got it figured.